This is our fucking city.
He just shook up the world.
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Marlon here with Taking This Sports. Don't forget, we're not only the guys that watch these sports, but we analyze them. So today, do I have to state the obvious? We're going to be covering UFC 245 headlining Colby Covington against Kamaru Usman to see who the true welterweight champion of the world was and to see if Colby Covington could make the welterweight division great again, but hey, he came up a little short. So let's go ahead and start covering that fight. Listen, round one was amazing. This fight could have been a snooze fest because of how similar these fighters are. Both 15-1, both wrestlers, one D1, one D2. Doesn't matter. Both of these guys matched up amazingly close, but this was a great fight. There was fireworks the entire night, and I loved the main of the evening, along with the other fights that also went along with this fight card. So here we go. The first round, listen, Colby Covington stuck to his guns. He did the same thing that he did against Robbie Lawler, except a little bit of less fight output, right? Or punch output. He came out guns blazing and was actually hitting Kamaru Usman a lot to the head. It was head strikes, and Kamaru Usman did a lot to go to the body. And there was one point where Kamaru Usman hurt Colby Covington to the body, and I think that played a major part to how Colby Covington was striking, because if you open up to the head, guess what's exposed? The body, right? Second round comes up, and there was one thing that I did not like. It was, again, another great round, but Colby Covington goes and lands a kick to the body, and Kamaru Usman, there he is. Man, maybe this is why Colby calls him the fake newsman, because listen, I thought it was a clean body shot, and Kamaru Usman called it a low blow. The referee gave him, hey, you know what? He's the champion. Give him his time. You know, there's a reason. If you got hit to the nuts, guess what happens? A fighter is going to take more time unless you're Joel Romero. But Kamaru Usman, as soon as they called time, he took his breath. All right, let's go fight right away. No touch of the gloves. I loved it. But again, I did not like that Kamaru Usman did that. It could have easily been 2-0 Colby Covington. I had it 2-0 Colby Covington after the first two rounds. Third round comes up, and once again, there's another stoppage to the fight because Kamaru Usman got a poke to the eye by Colby Covington, which was actually a legit thing. But after that, there was a major thing that happened in this third round. And Colby Covington, if you notice in the entire fight, he fights with his hands very, very low. And at one point, he was backing up with both hands low. And Kamaru Usman caught him with a lovely 1-2, the straight jab with the right hand followed, and actually broke Colby Covington's jaw. Kamaru Usman actually said after the fight, post-fight interview, he said that he did not know. He was not aware that Colby Covington's jaw was broken, but it obviously played an impact in the fight. Fourth round was another war. Both guys going back and forth, back and forth. It could have been a toss-up. So right now, I had a 2-1 in the going into the fourth round. Again, a toss-up in the fourth round. Could have been Colby's, could have been Kamaru's. So it could have been a draw going this far. Fifth round was where things changed. Kamaru Usman goes and lands a 1-2, drops Colby Covington. Colby Covington, the warrior that he is, stands right back up. But Kamaru Usman lands another 1-2 with a 10-second span. He gets dropped twice. What does the wrestler do? He turtles. He tries to drive into the nutsack of Kamaru Usman, right, to defend his head. We've seen this from plenty of wrestlers before, to try to defend and not take blows to the head. 2 strikes later, listen, this is a toss-up. I thought it was an early stoppage. Come on, it's a 5-round championship fight. Let the man defend himself. It's Colby Covington, right? He might have an opportunity to defend himself. 2 strikes later, the referee stops the fight, but credit to Kamaru Usman. He took a lot of blows to the head. He was stunned in that first round with a hook that Colby Covington caught him with, and he was able to recover, and he never looked dazed. You looked at his eyes. He was looking dead at Colby Covington like he's ready to go. So credit to the champion. You know, I would like to see Kamaru Usman defend his title against maybe a man like Tyron Woodley. Forget Tyron Woodley fighting any of these other guys. Have them run it back. Tyron Woodley held the title for a very, very long time, so it would be a great fight to see a rematch, and then have Colby Covington hash his beef with his ex-best friend, Jorge Masvidal. If it's just for publicity and they're actually best friends, they're doing a very great job of it. I would love to see that fight. Jorge Masvidal, stay away from boxing, please. Colby Covington and Masvidal, Woodley against Kamaru Usman, that would be great. Put it on the same card. I would love to see that. So let's go on and move on to the next fight, the co-main event of the evening. You have Max Holloway against Alex Volkanovski. Man, I was impressed by this fighter, Alex Volkanovski. He reminds me of a young Frankie Edgar with his movement. It wasn't so much of his strikes that impressed me. It was the angles that he gives up, moving around. You can see Max Holloway. He's very flat-footed. He just comes forward. Usually uses his length. Oh, let's go. Let's start to bang. But Volkanovski was moving a lot, and let me tell you, leg kick. We don't even have to break this one round by round. Volkanovski hit Max Holloway so much to the calf that you could see Max Holloway had to switch to the southpaw stance to try to allow that front left leg to recover, because he wasn't going to be able to take a lot of blows. And you know, when your front leg is hurt, you can't plant to strike. So Volkanovski actually was using those leg kicks to set up the strikes later on in the fight, which were the head kicks. I'm sorry, the head strikes. There was a lot of hooks that Volkanovski landed that any other fighter probably would have knocked out. Remember, Alex Volkanovski was a rugby player, 240 pounds, and moves down to the featherweight division, loses 100 pounds, and he's looking like he carried that power. We see it in Jared Cannonier, right? In the middleweight division. Man was a heavyweight before and now moved all the way down to the middleweight division, and we see what kind of damage he's doing. We thought the Joker was the man in that division. After a couple victories, we thought that he could be a contender for the title, and Cannonier just comes in and TKOs him the way that he did. So Alex Volkanovski has a great chance. I think the fight to make right now, and let's stop it with Brian Ortega and with Korean Zombie. Even though I love those fighters, I think the best fight to make right now is Zabit against Alex Volkanovski. If there was one man that I thought that could beat Max Holloway if Alex Volkanovski did not beat him last night, is Zabit. I think Zabit has all the tools. I need the UFC to stop pitter-patting with this fighter and put him against real competition. I think that's the next fight to make, and I can't wait to see what the UFC does with that one next. So the fight before that, another championship fight. You have Randamie against Amanda Nunes, the greatest of all time in her division. Of any female fighter, there's been only one female fighter that has come close to beating this woman, and it's Valentina Shevchenko. What do you think she was doing? She was sitting in the crowd there. She's a redhead now, but you know it's Valentina. You know what she's doing. She's trying to see the fight film in person, just like Evander Holyfield used to do against Mike Tyson. He would watch all his fights. He even went to Japan to see the one against Buster Douglas. So it's the same concept with Valentina, right? Sitting there, seeing the fight film, seeing what this lady got. I think that's the best fight to make there. But let's go ahead and start covering that fight. Listen, Amanda Nunes is a very dangerous fighter. In that first round, she lands an overhand right against Randamie. Oh, snap. Randamie is the one with the kickboxing background. The Brazilian, what does she got? She got BJJ. But listen, she lands that overhand right, and you can see Randamie is stunned, right? She goes to the ground. And listen, it's just ground and pound from there. She did not know how to figure out how to get back up. And I was worried. I was like, come on, don't let it be another short stoppage, because there's not a female on the planet that could fight against Amanda Nunes. But, you know, round ends. But let me tell you what I did not like about this fight. The Randamie's sprawl game is terrible. And her takedown defense. There was plenty of opportunities where Amanda Nunes looked hurt in this fight. Or, I'm sorry, not her. I apologize. She was not hurt in this fight. Besides one time in the fight. But it was actually the cardio. You could see that Amanda Nunes was slowing down at certain points, but there was nothing that the Randamie could do to avoid the takedown. So therefore, Amanda Nunes was able to take her breaks. And you could see that the referee was trying to stand the fight back up. He did at one point, but listen, Amanda Nunes stayed busy enough to keep it on the ground. There was one amazing point in this fight, though. The Randamie's on her back, and she throws an up kick, and you can see that Amanda Nunes gets stunned by this. Boom, her legs wobble. She lands right plop on top of the Randamie, right? But you know what? That was the most amazing thing that the Randamie did in this fight. It was starting the round on the feet and ended on the ground. Because the problem that the Randamie was doing, again, if Amanda Nunes is wrapping you up before she got the leg hook behind that wrestlers do to get the takedown completed, the Randamie needs to fight hands. She had plenty of opportunities to get the hook, right? If a wrestler is hugging you, get the arm underneath and break the hands, and that way you could shoot your hips to one direction and you have an opportunity to sprawl. She was literally backing up without fighting any hands. So obviously Amanda Nunes had her opportunities to get her takedowns as she will. That's why I think that another fight against Valentina Shevchenko will be an amazing fight, because Valentina is a different kind of animal, and so is Amanda Nunes. So let's get that fight again, and still Amanda Nunes as the champion. So we're gonna get to the next fight. That's not a championship fight after this short break. Hey guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell button for more notifications. So with that, we're going to continue on with UFC 245 headlining Colby Covington against Kamaru Usman. So the next fight that we're going to be covering is actually Marlon Moraes against Jose Aldo. What a fight this was, and I thought it was a robbery of the night. Listen, Jose Aldo is 33 years old, not young. This guy has been in plenty of wars. We know that he was the 145 king for many years. He was undefeated for 10 years before getting knocked out by Conor McGregor in the 13 seconds. But listen, it's the fight that he was going down to 135. I thought that he did not stand a chance against Marlon Moraes, a man that lost against a great fighter in Henry Cejudo. Listen, I thought that Marlon Moraes was going to come out hungrier than ever, coming off a loss, was supposed to be the 135 king, and you know what? I was wrong last night. Jose Aldo showed up. In that first round, Marlon Moraes lands 2 left head kicks that stun Jose Aldo. I was like, man, I do not want to see a TKO right here, because if Jose Aldo lost his fight, I thought that he should hang up the gloves. But that was not the case. Jose Aldo stood his ground. At one point towards the end of the round, he lands a left hook and a straight right that stuns Marlon Moraes. You can see Moraes backing up. Jose Aldo pushes forward, and they end up in a clinch. Luckily, Moraes was able to turn his hips and get the takedown and ends up on top. There goes the round. Second round, you see Jose Aldo again is pushing the pace, and I don't like the gas tank of Marlon Moraes. What is going on with his gas tank? He's supposed to be the king of 135, and he looked like he already fought 4 rounds going into that second round, right? He looked like he was one body punch away from getting TKO'd. Jose Aldo lands an overhand right that I'm like, oh, can this be it? But Marlon Moraes is also a great fighter. He lands his own overhand right that momentarily stops Jose Aldo, but does not stun him. Jose Aldo looked like the man in that second round, and in the third round, the same thing. You could see that Jose Aldo was pushing the pace the entire time. He had ring generalship in this fight. The fight should have gone his way 2-1 or 3-0. When the judges call the fight, when the announcer, Michael Buffer, calls the fight, it goes towards Marlon Moraes. What a robbery this was. Listen, there's one judge that I hate in this world, and many boxing fans can support me on this. Adelaine Byrd gets every single fight wrong. Listen, was she one of the judges in this fight? Because I could not believe that Jose Aldo ended up losing this fight. You could see it in Marlon Moraes' reaction, how stunned he was. He acted like he just won multiple titles in one fight. He landed on his knees all celebrating. You knew why he reacted this way, because he was shocked, just like everybody else watching this fight that thought that Jose Aldo won that fight. Listen, Jose Aldo should be the #1 contender, and I would love to see him fight Henry Cejudo next for that 135 strap, rather than seeing Marlon Moraes fight again. Put him against Germaine Sterling or something like that for a rematch. But I did not like the call on this fight. Listen, speaking of veterans of the sport, Urijah Faber returns, right? He returns against Ricky Simón in Sacramento. He lands an overhand right. He has Simón hurt. I thought Simón did a great job in trying to defend himself. And the referee stops the fight. It is what it is. Urijah Faber should have hung up the gloves then, but he didn't. He wants to make a return, but not against any ordinary fighter. See, Mike Brown was smart. He fought against Ben Saunders, another veteran, another slower guy. Not a #4 guy, Petr Yan from Russia. Russians are taking over. That's a contender for the title, one of the best fighters in that division. He wants to fight that guy to get in title contention? Oh, man, what a mistake that was. I called it before the fight started. Listen, you could see, though, that Urijah Faber's speed is still there. The first round, he's feinting a lot, moving a lot. That's what Urijah Faber does. At one point, Petr Yan, you can see that he goes for a takedown, and Urijah Faber throws a knee up the middle that if it landed, man, that could have done damage. That was the most entertaining thing that happened in that first round, though. Second round was where the fight really got interesting. Listen, Petr Yan lands a 1-2-1, that straight jab with the straight right and another jab that drops Urijah Faber. Urijah Faber, you can see that he's showing it on the face. Face is all bloodied up. He gets back up. Petr Yan gets him in a clinch and bang, lands that right elbow straight to the face again. You see that Urijah Faber gets hurt, drops to the canvas, and right there, Petr Yan starts to ground and pound. Oh, man, the referee gets in the middle of it. Urijah Faber's left eye was terrible. It was like he had a golf ball on his face with a cut. The doctor checks the cut, and you know what? The fight can continue. So that was that. But I think that stoppage by the referee to check the cut actually helped Urijah Faber get into that third round, because without that, I thought that it was going to be a TKO with the ground and pound. So the third round starts, and this is where it was cringeworthy. I don't like seeing a veteran and a popular guy like Urijah Faber getting TKO'd. Petr Yan lands a 12-6 kick. It was like a 12-6, right? You know, it was just pretty much directly up, or a question mark kick. It was kind of like that. I don't know what to call it, but it looked like it came directly straight up and landed. And you could see how Urijah Faber reacted to it. He was instantly stunned by the kick, and that's all she wrote. Listen, it did not have to come to that point. After that Samoan fight, Urijah Faber should have hung up the gloves, right? He's 40 years old. He has an amazing career. He was inducted in the UFC Hall of Fame in 2017. That could have been it there, but he wanted to come back and fight a top guy. Petr Yan has a high likelihood of being a new champion. Look what happened with Alex Volkanovski. You know, these guys are coming. You know what I mean? There's really, really good fighters in the UFC right now. So, you know what? Hopefully we don't see Urijah Faber in the octagon anymore. And you know what? I won't fault him. You don't always have to come out with a victory to be a winner. You know what I mean? So that's that. So the most exciting fight in this card that wasn't a championship fight, I think, was Geoff Neal, hands of steel, against Platinum Mike Perry. Listen, anytime Mike Perry fights, I'm just tuned into the TV. I'm glued to it. This guy has so much personality. His charisma is amazing. It doesn't matter how many times he loses. He's one of those guys that he could have 20 losses and you'll always, always, always want to watch. You see in the weigh-ins, him and Geoff Neal are hitting each other to the body, just joking around. He's just a phenomenal athlete. And you know, he doesn't take losses personal, but he always shows up to fight. Boy, this fight was different though. Geoff Neal, hands of steel, must have a leg of steel, because right in the beginning, it was a little bit of a feel-out process. You can see Mike Perry trying to go to the body. Geoff Neal lands a massive head kick that lands right on the beautiful nose that Mike Perry just got repaired from his last fight, and ends up backing up Mike Perry. You can see Mike Perry very, very hurt. I've never seen him like this. Backs up to the octagon. There you go. Geoff Neal, of course, being the smart fighter that he is, throws another head kick and follows it up with a right hand, drops Mike Perry, and that's all she wrote. You know, I don't care who Mike Perry fights next. I just want to continue seeing him fighting. Geoff Neal, I want to see him fighting somebody in the top 5. I think he has a great opportunity of being one of those guys that people enjoy watching like I do. So we'll see how that goes. But with that, guys, that covers UFC 245. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Don't forget, guys, we're not only the guys that watch these sports, but we analyze them. Here with your boy, Raul Infante. Enjoy your day.